What is up, Roughnecks? This is Ponesaurus Rex here, and here we are on another beautiful day in the desert in 7 Days to Die, Alpha 18. And today we are going to talk about brass. So, here we go. This is the little display I built to show us what we're going to do about brass. And here we go. Let's get our wrench out. So when you're looking for brass in the normal home, you will find these. This is pretty good for radiators. You'll find these a lot of places, and you can find radiators in those. Now, I put these up on the wall because these are air vents. Air vents do not have radiators, so those are garbage, but they look like these if you're looking at them a certain way. So I wanted to point those out. Those are not good for brass. These are. And cars have radiators. Now, in the world, you can find this candelabra, and it will give you brass directly. Right here. It'll just give you brass, and these lamps will give you brass. Now, the candelabras I have not been able to find in the world at all, but the lamps I have, and we will go take a look at where we find those lamps in a minute. Now, these give you radiators right here at a certain point. Not every car will give you a radiator, though. Right there. There's one. Let's go over here. When you do these, you will find them. Doing this will get you one. Right there. And then these are brass sink parts, which when you break those off, you can get brass out of those as well. Which I will show you where to find those in the world. So let's take our little field trip to where we can go to find the different things in the world. And so let's go to the map. Right up here is a building. So it's kind of, see, this is where Disong Tower is. It's north of Disong Tower, but it's south of the burnt section. So let's go right there, and I'll show you this real quick. So this POI is the one. It's like a hotel with a pool. And in this building, every single room has a bathroom that has a brass sink to it. So that's where you can find brass sink parts easily. Now also, right here is Disong Tower. And if you go down to about the 4th floor, because that's the one that I recognize, 2, 3, 4 right here, and you go in, there are lamps all over this floor that you can scrap. Now, I've scrapped a couple of them, but they're on this floor. There's a bunch of offices with these lamps that you can do. See? There they all are. So let's head out of here, and let's go back to the building. So let's go back inside. So now that we've seen, and like I said, these can be found in any single house. These can be found on the rooftops of, actually, let's go take a look at those too. Right here is a rooftop, and here's a unit right here on top of, what is this? This is the Shamway. There's 2 of them on there. There's 2 of them on this one. 3 of them on that one, actually. And that is the Working Stiffs. This is another building. This is the Shotgun Messiah. There's 1, 2 of them on there. And you can get them from there as well. So those are readily available everywhere. And what I'm finding is that will give you 2 of them just to start. Like, every time you do one of these, you're going to get 2. So let's take a look. Yeah, 2. Now, that may be because I read these books. Now, there's 2 books that help you find brass. There's this Wasteland Treasures Volume 5, which gives you brass doorknobs, which I'll show you in a second. And this brass, which gives you more brass and loot. Okay, let's go upstairs, and I'll show you the doors. Right here is the doors. These are doors to the opening of normal homes. These are doors that you build. Okay? When you do a door with a normal home, you will get doorknobs. See how I'm getting doorknobs right now? But these are the doors I build. I will not get anything. Say, just wood. So you just get wood, and there you go. Nothing. Okay. So now that we've gone over where you can find brass and books that help you find brass, let's talk about scrapping brass. Okay. Let's go over here, because what you do is you melt the brass stuff down, things that you find, and then you make brass with them. You melt it down in the forge, and it gives you brass, which you use to make bullet casings, which is very important because everybody needs brass later in the game. So anyway, this is a way to look at it. Here is the brass candlestick. The brass candlestick will give you 150 brass in the forge, and it takes a minute to do. Now, if you do the brass outside of the forge, it takes a minute 52, and you only get 112. So see, you do not get nearly as much. So let's move over. What's the next one? Next one is the brass trophy, which will give you 50. Now, if we scrap the brass trophy, it takes 37 seconds, and you only get 37. So you lose 13 there. Let's take a look here. The radiator takes a minute 40, and it gives you 250. If you do a radiator outside of it, it takes 307, and you only get 187. The brass faucet takes 16 seconds, and you only get 16. Let's see what it takes. Scrap. You only get 12, and it takes 12 seconds. So that's not the same as the other ones. So anyway, this one is the other sink, and it takes a minute 3, and you get 63 brass. So let's do a scrap real quick. Scrap. Nope, that's not right. There we go. You do 47 seconds, and you get 47. So those two do not add up with the others. Now, this is a brass doorknob, which takes 20 seconds and gets 50 brass. So let's see what that one does as well. Scrap. That one takes 37 seconds, and you only get 37. So that's important. Forging it directly as a pile of their original form is better. It gives you more brass, and that is the way to do it, Roughnecks. You do not want to be scrapping these in the field unless it... The only way I'd be scrapping these in the field is if it was early game and I needed to have space in my inventory. Because in your inventory, you don't have space for 5 different types of brass items. And not to mention the brass radiators take up are 5 to a slot. So if it was early game and I wasn't running through all my bullets and I wasn't making a ton of bullets, I may just scrap them in the field. But other than that, I would not. I'd save it for the forge. And that's how that goes. So we went over where to find the lamps. We went over where to find the sinks. The radiators are in every house. Let's go out and go to a group of houses and find radiators. Just because we can. Let's go right in here. This is just a house I picked at complete and utter randomness. And we're going to just find a radiator real quick. Where is it? Well, they're definitely in here. Hold on. Yeah, we're pissing off all the zombies. So maybe not in this particular POI. But... no, maybe not in this one. Of course, it has to make me a liar. The first house I go into has to make me a liar. Usually, I find them all over the place, though. Like, there's one right there. See, they're all over the place. And those give you, by far, the most... I'm going to look one more time. It's got to be in here. Where is it? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that is how you find brass. That is how you utilize brass items to make the most brass, because you definitely later in the game you're going to be going through some serious bullets on Horde Nights, and you need them. Finding these books, especially if you find them at the trader, you're going to want to buy them and use them, because you need that brass in order to make those guns, make those bullets, and then you're able to do what you need to do. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of my subscribers and viewers. If you could take a second and subscribe, really helps the channel out. I appreciate that. And If I don't see you in the comments below, I'll see you in the next video.